don't treat them any different. That's the thing. You don't treat them any different. You talk to them like normal.
Absolutely.
That makes a big difference on people. And you know what? That might make them come back out again and again. So,
Yes.
I met a really nice person the other day. Got to speak to them for a little bit. So I believe in, like I said, being kind, pushing out the positivity to everyone, because you don't know it may change that one person. And you don't know if that one person whose life is going to affect, or it may have a bigger effect, because it might just be me. I might touch one person, but that person might touch 1,000 people.
Absolutely.
Hello, I am Kathy Chester, and this is Move It or Lose It, a podcast about all things that move the mind, body, spirit, and soul.
Okay. Hello, welcome to another episode of Move It or Lose It, our podcast where we talk about all things, all autoimmune, and ways that we can disrupt it. And so, as you've ever heard me, that is one of my favorite words. How can we disrupt the things that we think we can't do? So today, my guest I'm very excited about is Harlan, and his last name is Brisard, right? Did I say it?
Yes, Brisard.
Okay. So with no further ado, my very inspirational, if you ever have a bad day, go onto his Instagram and immediately you're going to feel better. So Harlan, with no further ado, welcome to Move It or Lose It podcast.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Thank you. So what I was drawn to when I started looking at, guests that I wanted on was obviously we share the passion and movement, right? That in order for us to stay strong, we've got to move our bodies. Yes. Now, what I often say is back in the day, I thought that was, jump squats and burpees, and I would go a little bonkers. And I do believe that I was diagnosed so long ago that the exercising helped, even if it wasn't the perfect exercise for MS. So tell me about your favorite things. You work out, you get up in the morning. Tell me a morning in your life. Well, first off, let me back it up. When were you diagnosed with MS?
I was diagnosed in 2008 with MS.
Okay.
And I was first misdiagnosed with MS.
Okay.
They initially thought one doctor, he was a neurologist, did x-rays, did things, x-rays for my back, and he didn't do for my head though. He didn't do a MRI for the head, but he initially told me it was arthritis.
Okay.
So I knew it wasn't arthritis because the pains that I was having, I went for a second opinion, and then the doctor did diagnose it as MS, and then I went for a third opinion, and they concurred.
Yeah, it is interesting how misdiagnosed. Even back then, I do have rheumatoid, but that's all they saw. And I was like, no, there's other things that don't make sense. So oftentimes then we go to Google Doctor, right? Did you on Google? Yeah, because we are not supposed to, but we do.
Yep, I did. And I saw so many different things. MS was one of them that came up, and I'm like, and the crazy part is that when I was Googling it, I'm like, I kind of like self-diagnosed myself at first. I'm like, I kind of fit in this MS bracket. And at the time, I had really no knowledge of it. This is all new to me. It wasn't in my family. I didn't know.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So no one you knew had it?
No, no one in my family has it. So I was the first one to have it. So I didn't know anything of it.
Welcome. I mean, happy days, right?
Yes, yeah. And when I was looking it up on Google, I'm like, numbness, tingling. I'm like, a lot of these things is happening to me. So when I went to the second doctor, they actually diagnosed it as MS. So
okay. So 2008, let's see. So what did they do for you? Did you get an option of medications, or did they just say, here's some glossy pamphlets? What do you think?
No, you know what? I happened to go to a really good doctor.
Good.
And, he did put me on the medicines. He explained everything to me. He said,
what did you start on?
I initially started on Avenox.
Okay.
Yes, I initially started on Avenox. I think that was once a week. Because one thing I'm a big guy and everything. I'm 6'4", but I don't like needles. And
Me
that was
neither.
probably the biggest thing, because when like taking that medicine, Avenox, that needle is not like a regular
Oh, yeah,
needle.
no, it's long. Remember?
Long.
And it's like
It's a
here,
muscular.
here, and you're like,
Whoa, exactly. So I started out with that one. I'm still with the practice and everything. Really good doctors over there. So that was the first medicine I started taking, was Avenox.
okay,
Yeah, I did get the side effects and everything in the beginning of it, where you could, basically like the full flu you would get.
absolutely.
You know, you get the cold sweats, the
Yes.
tremors, the fever. So I experienced all that, and I was like, wow, like
Yeah,
technically I was just out. I was out for the
right.
day. Mhm.
So how long were you on Avenox before you switched?
I was on Avenox for, I would say, 3 years, maybe 4,
Okay.
before
Okay.
I switched.
What did you switch to?
At that point, I went to Rebif for just a little bit.
Okay.
I
How
went
was
to
that?
Rebif. That was okay. It wasn't bad. I
Okay.
think that was like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But the side effects was less. It wasn't as
Okay.
bad as Avenox.
Uh-huh.
And so one of the things I kind of wanted to, I spoke to my doctor and I said, you know, what about getting off of like any type of medicines that's intramuscular, which I
Right.
kind of wanted to avoid, because like I said, don't like needles at all.
Right.
So that's when, then after that, that's when Tecfidera started rolling out, the
Okay.
pill. So I went to
Yeah.
Tecfidera, and I was on that for a few years, up until about 2 years ago. I was on Tecfidera until Ocrevus came around.
So now you're on Ocrevus.
Ocrevus, excuse me, yes,
Okay.
Ocrevus.
Now,
I
how
was
are you doing on
initially,
that?
pretty good so far, pretty
Okay.
good. I was initially on the cousin of it, because initially it was Rotuxan.
Yeah.
So I was on the Rotuxan in the
Mhm.
beginning for, I think, the first maybe year, and then
Okay.
then we switched over.
So you've done the circle around. You've tried a little bit of everything.
Yeah, after a while, you kind of like,
Yeah.
you don't want to keep trying all
I
these things,
know.
because this is not, this is not like an aspirin or anything like that. This is
Right.
not, hey, I have a headache, let me take a little aspirin. This
Right.
is strong medicine,
Yeah. And
even
it can
going
put you
in.
out.
Yes, even when I went for
Yeah.
the Rotuxan and everything,
Uh,
you're there for the whole day.
right.
They have to
Right.
prep you up. They have to give you the Benadryl that you can't buy this Benadryl at, Walgreens or CVS. Like, it's locked away in a cabinet,
Right.
and it works. So
Yeah. So I just started Ocrevus. So now in October, I take my full dose. Remember in the beginning, you take your 2.
twice, yes.
So, and now I'm on October, I started again. So far, I don't like it. So I'm not feeling the best on it. So we'll see, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got what works for them, something. So what I want to talk about too is if people don't know you, go onto your Instagram page, which is motivational strengths _ strengths.
Underscore strengths with an S, yes.
And that will be also at the bottom of the show notes. Okay. So I want you to tell me, when you were diagnosed, started feeling a little bit better, what did you feel that you wanted to bring into the MS community?
Well, when I started, I wouldn't say when I started, actually, when I did start feeling better, I guess it wasn't just a physical thing, it was also a mental thing. Because, physically you could be there, but mentally, if you're not, then, it takes a toll. So I guess when I aligned those two together, especially like mentally, and I decided, because I battled with it in the beginning. When I first was like, no, I used to lie to people. I used to tell people, I don't have MS. I was in a car accident. That's why I have a cane. And, and at that point, I was still in denial at that point in my life. I'm like, I'm young. I have MS. I didn't come to realize, not even come to realize, I didn't want to face the facts that I have MS. And my life is, it's going to be different from now on.
Right.
So, at that point, I was like in denial. Then I got to a point where I stopped denying it. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me just accept it. This is MS. I have it. And I started to accept it. I think at that point, once I started to accept it, that's when I was able to come out with it. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't lying about it. I was just being open and honest. People like, oh, wow, you know, I have a friend, they have MS, or I have a family member, they have MS. And that opened up the floodgates to a lot of different things.
Right.
So that was
Well,
really
you're
good.
very inspirational. So I would see a lot of like your stuff would, it just pulled my heartstrings because I feel like we have a lot of common things. So when I accepted mine finally and didn't try to run it out every day, just go on the track and keep running, thinking that I would run out the disease. I think that it gave me this opportunity when I went to so I was on Tysabri for many years and I did great on it. But it would give me this opportunity that the nurses and doctors would say, you know, did you want to share that we have a new patient? And it gave me some opportunities to share that this MS doesn't define you. You can still do it will be different, but there's many things you can do and enjoy your life. And so I see that a lot in your inspirational posts. So tell me, like, when you get up in the morning, do you set your posts, or do you really feel like I'm just going to wake up? And I know you said you do your morning workout. You do it early in the morning. You stretch in the morning.
Yes.
So I've done a lot of videos. I have another one coming up on YouTube where I do my stretching from, you know, my toes all the way up. And that works very well for me before I just jump out of bed. Normally I would just, you know, pop out of bed. And so now it's like, okay, let me stretch. And then, you know, if I have a client, for me, I'm working out with them. And so I love that you do it early in the morning. Explain why you do your early morning workouts.
I think it's the best time for me. You know, it's the first thing. For one, we all know that when we have MS, going to sleep, staying in one spot for too long, your body gets stiff, your muscles. So especially going to bed at night, you're laying there 6, 7, 8 hours. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up stiff. Every morning I wake up stiff. You know, before my back used to hurt me all the time, my lower back, before I really started stretching. So now in the morning, before I even hop out of bed or anything like that, I stretch. So I always stretch. I stretch my legs out. You know, I do all these different types. I do about 15 minutes worth of stretching.
That's awesome.
Every
so
morning.
All the way from the bottom, all the way to the top, stretching like your neck. Good.
Yeah. So I stretch all out. And what I stretch mostly my my lower, because on the top I don't have as much. So I'll still do stretching, but I focus a lot more on my legs, because my legs is where it affects me more. But and then after that, after I finish my stretching and everything like that, so this is how I start my morning out. I do my prayer, I do a meditation, and I do a stretch.
Very similar.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that we were.
Yes.
So I do my stretching, and then I'll start, like, I'll have my AirPods on. I'll start listening to, you know, one of my favorite preachers or something like that. Get me ready, and for both, right? Spiritually, physically, right? Our mindset, and then I'll do the stretching. And so I love that you do that. And so now tell me about what for you a morning workout would look like.
Well, after I finish doing my stretch and everything, another thing I do is I go for a walk. I'm not sure if you've seen some of my videos. I did some videos like right after I finish a walk, all sweaty. I do a walk. One thing I always do is to walk, for the simple fact that it helps me. So I'm at a point right now, I'm approaching the 10-minute mark walking around the block. And you know, when I first started, it took me almost half an hour. You know, this was a few years ago. But, so another reason why you know, my time's getting cut shorter and shorter, I realized, is that I stretch every day. And since I stretch every day, my strides are getting longer. So when I'm walking, it's not baby steps, it's a longer stride now. I'm picking up my foot more. And I notice the difference where I'm shaving down the time. So that's just the morning, you know. And then afterwards, I'll go to the gym. Depending on what I'm doing, I try to figure out what I'm going to focus on for the day, whether it's my legs, whether it's chest, arms, my back, my shoulders. It all depends. And you know, since I've been going to the gym here in Florida, I've met a lot of new people, a lot of people to help me out in the gym, which is great. So now I'm at a point, I'm trying to switch up some of my workouts. at times. So try to do
We
something.
talked about that. I'm going to help you out with that,
Yes.
since that is my forte. So
Yes. So just a few things, and you know, if I'm doing something wrong, I always ask someone, please tell me I'm doing something wrong. I'd rather do
right,
it the right way
right,
than because then I'm
which
going to
is
get the
really
actual
great,
effect.
because a
Yes.
lot of people will just do what they think.
Mhm.
And that's why for me, when I started, I did circuit training so that it's just very effective. And you're not like, what do I do now? And so what I found is that I can do that with my MS patients in different ways, right? Because sometimes we'll walk and we'll work on like drop foot, we'll work on if they got upper body stuff. So moving on from there, I want you to talk about the what it is that you use on your leg to help you with the drop foot walking.
Okay, that device is called the Bioness L300.
Okay.
All right, so the Bioness is to help with people with foot drop. So for people such as myself with MS, I do suffer from foot drop. So the best way for me to explain it is, now for some people, if you've gone to physical therapy, and if they ever put the electric stim on your legs in order to help with foot drop, I believe they call it Russian stim, is when they focus it on your legs. It's called a Russian stim. So the Bioness does the same exact thing pretty much. It's an
and you can
electric.
set it. Can you set it in different settings?
Yes, you can. You could set it in different, you could do training, you could do it for walking mode, you could increase the intensity, you could lower the intensity of it. So there's different functionalities that you do have with the Bioness. And it definitely helps because, with the foot drop, what happens is we have bad nerves with MS. So we start to lose, able to picking up our foot and, walking properly. With the Bioness, it does focus on the other nerves that you probably don't use, and it taps into it, and it helps picks up your foot for you. It's an electric
I love
stim.
that.
Yeah, it's great. I have two of them. So I initially started out with the right foot. That was the worst foot. And then after a while, I guess the left leg overcompensated so long for the right foot that the right foot actually got stronger, and then the left foot got weaker. So back in almost a year ago, back in November, I actually I purchased another one, another Bioness for the left leg. So the right one I actually don't wear as much because I have full control of that now. So the left one is the one I'm trying to work on. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Help me understand, and all of our newly diagnosed patients and the ones that have been diagnosed for a long time and really struggle with depression. How do you keep your motivation up? I mean, you give these wonderful messages that I love. They're so inspiring. How do you keep that up?
Thank you. Well, for one, prior to MS, I was always a happy person. People used to say, "Oh, Harlan, the friendly giant." Oh, so I was always a happy person. When I got diagnosed with MS, we all go through it. You're like, why me? You have so many questions. But I'm thankful for every single day I get up. I'm thankful for the things I do. I try to promote that to people, say, listen, get out and do things. Because I feel that people will fall into that depression and say, hey, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's not that you can't do it, it's that you don't want to do it. You don't want to try it. And that happens to a lot of people where they give up on life.
Yes. So
for me, I'm thankful. I have a great family. I have great friends. I have a great community I'm part of. I look at, for me, I look at all the positive in my life. I don't look at negatives. See, the negatives I feel is always the negatives will keep you down.
Yes.
It's gonna keep you down. I always focus on the positive. I got up today. You know what? It's a beautiful day out. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Instead of focusing on the negative, oh, my feet hurt, oh, this hurts, or that hurts. I'm not gonna go nowhere. I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay, so all my autoimmune clients, listen to this. So there's something every morning to be grateful for, something to be happy about. And if you don't know and you can't find anything, go to this man's page and you'll find something to smile about. But I do love that. I love that you focus on, we do have bad days. We have days where it's like nothing's really working. legs don't want to work, body's not feeling well. And you're right. So sometimes what are we thankful for? We woke up. We've got a family. We've got,
People don't realize that.
yeah.
A lot of, not to cut you off, people don't realize that, like, for one, not everyone has a family. Not everyone has people that love them, care for them.
Right.
And what people don't realize is you can go to bed and don't wake up the next day.
Absolutely.
It happens to people all the time, whether you're young, you're old, elderly,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. So that's what
Right.
I'm like, I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful to be here. Thankful to be on your podcast. So
And I'm happy to have you.
thank you. So that, these are the things that I look forward to. This is positive
Yes.
things
Yes.
that we're communicating. We're,
Right.
talking to our community and enlightening them. Hopefully we touch other people and they're like, you know what? I should be happy today. There's no reason for me to be sad or down. Let me do this. Let me do that. Exercise or go for a walk.
Right.
Just
Right.
anything. Just anything. But
Absolutely.
be happy. Still love yourself. You're here for a reason. I tell people that all the
That's
time.
right.
You're here for a reason. Because if you're diagnosed with MS today, but you're going to be here for another 30 years, are you going to live I don't want to live my life sad. I don't want to be down.
Absolutely.
So I'd rather hey, listen, I don't know how much time I have on this world, but on the world, but I want to go ahead and enjoy it. I want to have fun with my
Yes.
family, fun with friends. I want to experience new things.
Yes.
And I just want to live. I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to me about, you've got this like motivation, you've got this Instagram page. So where do you want to go moving forward? How would you, because I could see you doing blogs, I could see you going on leading groups for men or, and both, whatever it is that you lead those. I mean, I joke about my first support group was in a scooter shop and it was so depressing. Everybody's in there looking at the scooters, like, is this where I'm going to land? And so, I got myself right out of that. So have you ever thought about that, leading a group?
I've thought about that as well. Right now, I'm like focusing on with the MS, and I do want to put out the positivity and
yes,
maybe motivational speaking or something.
I
maybe
know that's where I'm like,
yeah,
I
thought
think
about
that you have a really great ability to motivate others. So when you're talking about what am I going to do with this, that's how I can see you is just really coming out. And whether you come out on you just come out for a little bit, or you have your own YouTube station where you're talking about things, it's so inspirational to see and hear people that are not, showing the IV in and the, all this stuff, and really talking about the things that we can be grateful for. Because I don't know about you, but I was shocked after, that COVID's kind of hopefully coming to an end. I was shocked in my naivety, and my heart was just sad to see how it didn't change so many. A lot of us I was thrilled to have my family with me and, making homemade meals and stuff like that. But I see so much depression in our community with everything opening up and this feeling of loss for all of the autoimmune diseases. Like, am I safe? Can I go out? Do I have to wear a mask all the time? What am I able to do? And there's confusion and there's a lot of anxiety and depression. So as I'm kind of encouraging you to start something that I think you need to start, I also want to ask you, were you discouraged that there wasn't more positivity after 2020?
I wasn't discouraged. I kind of like felt that was going to happen a little bit.
Okay.
Because when you look at it with 2020, before we headed into the pandemic and everything,
right,
when you look at it, a lot of people don't actually spend time with each other, whether you're married or not, boyfriend,
right,
girlfriend, your kids. A lot of times, you're sleeping for 8 hours, right? You're going to work for anywhere between 8 to 12 hours, depending on what type of job
you sleep 8 hours. Do you know how jealous I am?
No, I don't.
I'm
I don't
lucky
sleep.
to get.
I don't
Four
sleep
to
for eight.
five.
I don't sleep 8 hours. I do sleep for about a good 6 hours.
That's good.
Definitely sleep for six
Good.
hours. But they say recommended time is 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
You go to work. A typical job is anywhere between 8 to 12 hours, depending on your job.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you got your travel time, a few things you have to do. And then you come home and you spend a little time with your spouse and your kids. And then you go back to bed. So
Right.
when everyone was in the house, a lot of times I realized, and I saw it, where people didn't even know each other.
Right.
They didn't know it. You're like, you've been married to this person or with this person for so long.
Right.
And then when you had to be with that person, it's like, what do we have in common? Like,
Right.
you start to
Right.
realize. But when I saw that, it wasn't, you know what? I'm not going to say I didn't see it directly coming, but it didn't shock me as well. I think for some people it actually helped, because some people might have been in a bad household, in a bad environment, where
Right.
they didn't want to be there. I heard a whole bunch of
Right.
different stories, for
Yes.
kids and adults and
Yes.
just different things. So I believe if you're going to do something that's going to better you, whether you're together with someone or you're
Yes.
leaving, if that's going to better you, then I think you should do it. I
Right.
don't think you should go ahead and stay in a bad situation and just wait there. So when I did
Right.
see it, I was, I saw it. I'm like, you know what? It's not all bad. I know the divorce rates went up. People are not together anymore. They're breaking up.
Right.
But it might have been for the better for some people, because it
Right.
was. Some people
Right.
were in some bad situations that I was reading about, and I'm like, you know what? It's better that you did leave.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Agree. And then, like you said, people got to know each other. Like, you had more time with your spouse. So there were things that I could learn about. I had more time with my kids. And I remember one of the times I said to them, is this a great opportunity for me to know you as an adult? So now we have a different relationship, because all of our
Yep.
kids are adults. And so it was a really great time for us. I've known you as my child forever, but now I get to have a different relationship with you, adult to adult. And I get to know your thoughts, your political thoughts, where your faith is. Things that I didn't, you don't get time, right, to have that with them in a normal, like you said, in the normal world. So I think we definitely, I felt like it made us closer and helped me kind of refine, get some more certification stuff, helped me get closer into what I wanted to do for the MS community, for the autoimmune, and really kind of hone in on my podcast, what I want it to look like. So it sounds like you took a lot of that as well and didn't use it as a time to just plop down and lay down, but used it as a time to grow, spend more time with your family. Yes. And stuff like that. So, and you're right, there were bad, very unhealthy relationships that a lot of times you stay in it because you're busy, and you got stuck looking at each other and saying, is this going to work? Or is this just really destroying us? And so I agree. I think that was a good time in my industry. As far as owning a studio gym, it was not so great, but it did, again, like the positives, it helped me really hone in on what do I want to do moving forward. I get this time to now settle down and decide, how do I want this to look going forward? What do I really want to do? So would you say that gave you some time to kind of hone in on the things that you want to do moving forward?
Yes, for sure. It definitely did give me more clarity, give me more time to think, for myself. Because a lot of times when you're working, you're busy, you're doing things, you don't have time to think always for yourself. You're thinking for others.
Exactly.
I gotta take care of this, I have to take care of that after work. You're thinking for others. So it definitely helped to help me further. Definitely what I wanted to do. And just as I said, when I first started out my whole my Instagram account, my motivational strengths, I initially, the way I started, I had a personal page, my own personal page, and I would go ahead and post my workouts and things that I was doing, and I received so much positive response from everyone, from family and friends, and they were like, "Oh wow, like you're motivating me."
Yeah.
And they're like, "I'm going to the gym. you're going to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym.
Right.
And that's how I spun off for the motivational strength one.
Good. Yeah.
I said, when I initially started that page, I said, I just want to focus on my community, MS people.
Yes.
And that's what I did. So I started focusing on everyone that's, with MS and posting up messages, because I've met people where I told them, listen, I have MS. And they're like, oh, my friend has MS. Can you speak to them? My other friend has MS. Can you talk to them? They're down. They don't want to talk. They don't want to come out. Their attitude. So I felt like, it's my obligation. I actually just met somebody about 2 weeks ago. And another thing, she was diagnosed recently of MS about 3 years ago.
Okay.
But now she's starting to get some flare-ups and everything. And, she's having problems walking. So we spoke for over an hour, just talking on the phone. And it really helped.
That's
she was
awesome.
like, wow. Yeah. You know what? She's not part of any MS communities or anything like that. So it's still new to her. So I was just trying to direct her in the right direction of people she could possibly speak to, doctors she could see, just different things, different avenues for her. That's there.
Which is so good, because with your attitude and the way that you just love, I mean, it's all over your face. So I'm going to keep encouraging you on that YouTube station. I'm going to keep encouraging you.
I am going to start a YouTube station. A few people have said that to me. They said, oh, do the YouTube. So I am going to do the YouTube, and I'm going to put it out. So watch out for that on my page. Yes.
Good. Because I think that is what our community needs, is more motivational, more, we can still do this. And that thankfulness that you have is so important for our MSers and the other autoimmune diseases that are so down right now and feeling like, I don't know if I can do this another day. I mean, that's why I started the podcast, but, and they'll be on YouTube stuff, but people who are positive, like you and like myself, that has to come out, because there's so much sadness. And so I think it's so important that people like you and me and the other podcasters and the other YouTube people that I've met through this journey are able to speak on YouTube and also, figure out a way. What do they say when you're young? Figure out what you love to do, figure out a way to get paid for it.
Yes.
So
that's true.
I think, I love what you're doing. I'm going to keep encouraging and watching you, because I know that you're just now, doing a lot of working with and doing advocating, helping other patients. But I'm going to encourage you to keep going further, because it's in you, and there's not a ton of us that do that.
You know what? It's crazy, because the funny part is that I never wanted MS. Obviously, none of us wanted MS.
You didn't?
No, I didn't put my name in for the lottery.
Oh.
But I do feel like I have an obligation, because for one, my uncle said to me a couple of years ago when I had MS, and he said something to me that stayed with me. And he said, listen, I don't know how you got MS. Nobody in the family has MS. He said, but your attitude, your positivity, he said, it's like nothing we ever seen before. Please keep it up. And my brother said something to me years ago too. One of my closest brothers said something to me. He said, when I got diagnosed with MS, and he started noticing the change, and he said, Harlan, you know what? I know you got MS and everything. He said, don't let it change you. Still be the same person that you were.
Amen.
And he was right, because I was always a happy person. People used to say, oh, Harlan, the friendly giant. Oh, Mr. Friendly.
Right.
That's just me. Even now, I go to the gym now, and I meet a lot of people just going in there. People like, oh, wow, you have a positive energy. 2 days ago, I was in the gym, and I met 2 people in there. They was like, hey, I love your positive energy. And I didn't say a word to them. They just saw, I guess it comes off that glow or something.
Yeah.
And they came to me. I'm like, oh, wow. And I always try to be friendly to everyone, anyone. That's something that I do believe that's something that we all could offer, and it doesn't cost us anything.
Right.
To be kind. We all could be kind to one another.
Absolutely.
It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take much time. Just to be kind.
Smile at someone. I mean, that in itself, you don't know what that person's been through. And if they're nasty at the store or something, take a breath. Don't bite back. Just kind of wait and say, you know what? I don't know what they've gone through today. I don't know who they've lost today. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to just hold that comment back that could fly out of my Italian mouth and just hold it back and just breathe. And I'm going to just say, have a wonderful day.
Exactly.
And we don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what they're dealing with. Like you said, just it could be anything. And to me, I don't want to add the fuel to the fire. If anything, I'll try to give you a smile, have a good day, because maybe you need that. Maybe that might just brighten up your day for that next person that you see.
Right. Exactly. And that's, one of the reasons I wanted you on is because I'm going to keep pushing YouTube, but your face, your smile, it's so contagious. Your joy is. And that's what we're missing, and I could feel like I go on it and it's like, that was depressing. But to go on and have people come on with your face and your smile and your motivational speaking and the things that you have to say, there's so many times I see a quote from you. I'm like, I love that. So I was so excited to find you. And so for me, I wanted to do this with you today because I want other people to find you. And you are doing, you are beginning in the advocating and talking to others. And I know this is a beginning for you, but you've got a lot to offer. And I know that we talked about, I want to live every day. So I'm just going to encourage you, go for it.
Yes. And as I said, I'm a happy person. I want to spread that out to everyone else. I want people to know to be happy. One other thing too, it's like whenever I'm out, like I go out, maybe you can go out to go eat, we hang out. And whenever I see people that have a disability, it doesn't have to be MS, it could be whatever. You have your cane, you have your walker, you could be in a wheelchair, whatever. I always try to make sure, I always tell them, I'm happy to see them. I'm always happy to see them. And I always encourage them, come out. I'm so happy to see you. You're not the only one. Because there's people out here that have a disability that don't want to come out because they're scared people may look at them or say something. Come out. It doesn't matter. Just come out. I love when I see people out here, whether you have a disability or not. I love that. Just come out. You're not the only one. That's why
I love that you are courageous enough to go up, because a lot of us, when we see someone in a wheelchair, we'll just kind of back up. Like, I don't want to offend, but I love that you just go right up and say, I get it. I know what you're, and that in itself is so encouraging. And so it's like someone that may not have had a conversation with anyone for 3 or 4 days.
You're right.
You coming up to them. I mean, to me, for me in my faith, I may be the only opportunity they see Christ.
Yes.
So how do I want to show that?
Yep. And you know what? Don't treat them any different. That's the thing. You don't treat them any different. You talk to them like normal.
Absolutely.
That makes a big difference on people. And you know what? That might make them come back out again and again. So, I met a really nice person the other day, got to speak to them for a little bit. So I believe in, like I said, being kind, pushing out the positivity to everyone, because you don't know it may change that one person. And you don't know if that one person whose life is going to affect or they may have a bigger effect, because it might just be me. I might touch one person, but that person might touch 1,000 people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah.
And so like today, the thing I wanted you on is because we don't know what days people are having today, but when this airs, what I love about it is that your contagious smile and your motivating personality, that could be a day that people just really needed that. And you have so much to offer. And I love it. I look forward to collaborating. I'm going to do a training session with you, and we'll post that. That'll be really fun.
Yes,
so other than that, anything that you want to share about what your passion is, what you look at and say, moving forward, this is what I want to do?
Moving forward, I want to spread out as much positivity to everyone. As I said to you before, possibly motivational speaking, so I could touch the mass, not only maybe just MS, but maybe people, like you said, autoimmune disease, lupus, Parkinson's, this people that have cancer, just anything, just to get people out there in a good mood. Because a lot of times it's so easy for the negative just to keep you down, weigh you down. So
Yes.
I try to always put that positivity out, and I want people to know, listen, you can live a good life. You can have an
Yes.
enjoyable life. I just don't want
Yes.
you to sit down at the house between your four walls thinking that this is life. Come
Right.
out, you know?
Yes.
And then when you do get to stay home, like yesterday I stayed home actually. Raining all day, you know, I did
Yeah,
things in
here
the house
too.
and everything. See, yeah. So I stayed home, but I still did things in the house. And to me,
Right.
that's the best day for me to catch up on certain things, whether it's laundry or cleaning up, or you could go ahead and catch up. So I don't
So
look at
give
it
me
as
an
bad either.
idea. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Where were you at?
No. I was just gonna say that's the perfect day to catch up on your house chores.
Yes, very true. I don't know if I like that, but yeah, they do need to be caught up on. So what I wanted to ask you is a day in the life. So let's say it's really rainy, you're in pain. When that happens, and we just have those MS days, right? Where everything's just like everything hurts. How do you stay with that? Like, do you allow yourself to rest and say, okay, today's not going to be a big moving day, but I'm just gonna rest. I might enjoy, I don't know how your vision is. My
My vision is
vision,
fine. Thank God.
good,
My vision is fine. Like we all know with MS, it affects everyone differently. It could be
right,
vision, it could be, you know, walking, it could be your
right,
arms. So that is I'm fine, you know, with that, with the vision and everything.
yes.
Yeah.
So mine's not, and we know a lot of our MS
Yes.
patients don't, vision is affected. So God bless audiobooks, because that has saved me for so many things I want to read, and then I'm like, I can't. So so will you spend that time just kind of studying, reading something that's
Yes. So I will definitely take a rest day. Because sometimes, you know, I when I'm in the gym, sometimes I go extra hard. I go with the weights and everything. So the next day, maybe if I do feel a little bit, maybe a little fatigue, or if I feel
right?
sore, I will give my body a rest. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go ahead and push it and basically let my body shut down on itself.
right,
So I'll give it
right,
a rest. And it might be a light day. You know, you're home, you're maybe doing some research, you're doing some reading,
right,
you're setting up yourself for the week. You know, gonna
right,
figure out what activities gonna do for tomorrow. Maybe I might plan out all tomorrow. I might be busier tomorrow because today I took off. So I'm gonna
right.
catch up. So I
Very
use those
good.
days to rest. You know,
Yes,
whatever, if I feel tired, I'm gonna rest. I'm not gonna overdo it with my body. My body's already telling me you have to rest. Let me
right.
rest, you know,
So
because your
listen
body
to
will
the
shut down.
cues of
Yes.
your body. And
'Cause-
when we know our body that well, we feel it. We know, okay, today's not going to be a push it day. It's going to be
Exactly.
just getting my body moving, but it's not going to be like, I'm not going to go crazy today.
Yes.
I'm going to just settle it down. And so we've got our MS, our MSers who are like, get up, go, exercise, move. They
Mhm.
understand that. Then we have a whole other set that movement is like, not really, I'm not really there.
There,
So
yeah.
what would you say to them? I mean, I know what I say to them, but what would you say to the MS patients that just don't feel like they want to? What's the benefit of it?
The benefit is when you start moving. I saw a saying one time: a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. So
Exactly.
I understand. Like I understand. For some people with MS, they can't do much, or maybe they don't have the
Right.
help. And one of the biggest things is for me is all about safety. I don't want someone to try to do an exercise that they may need, you know, a squatter or someone to help them, and they're going to try to
Right.
do it on themselves. And God forbid they fall. I wouldn't want that to happen
Right.
because
Right.
that's worse. So in my videos, I always try to say, try to do something. Whether it's
Right.
the smallest thing, sometimes people can't get out of bed. I do my
Right.
stretching in my bed. First thing in the morning,
Yeah.
I stretch. So that's what I do in the morning. So
Yeah.
people stretch. If you can only do sitting down, maybe exercises, do it. If you could do exercises maybe on the floor, do it. You know, the
Yes.
smallest exercise, just do one or two, take 10 minutes out your day.
Right.
You know, the biggest, you know, it's funny, the other day I was in the gym and I met this guy and we were talking and he was like, oh, you're so motivated, this and that. And I said, you know, one of the biggest challenges I have for myself
Right.
is getting to the gym. You understand? Once I'm there, I already know what I'm there for. You know,
Right.
there's no couch,
Right.
there's no TV, no bed, no kitchen. You're not home. So when you're in the gym, you know what you're there for. I'm there to work out.
Absolutely.
The hardest part for me with the gym is getting there. Just
I would
like,
say that 100%. And
because you can make
I
up
a
an
lot of
excuse.
times, I'll tell, you know, a patient that came in, you've already done the hardest part. You're here now.
Yes.
So, and I notice when they get anxious, I'll do some breathing. Like, all right, let's do a couple of these. Let's calm down. Let's do some diaphragm breathing, and then get you, because you know, if your mind isn't connected to the muscle that you're trying to use, your mind's everywhere else. It's not going to help you. So that's, you know, something that I've so enjoyed working with the clients that, you know, I see their, you know, go off to their mind somewhere else. And I'm like, stop, let's get back to mind muscle connection. So I love all that you're doing. I love the stuff that you're putting out there. So I'm very excited about what to look forward to. So you got to keep me posted. We'll do a workout.
I will. And I love everything that you've been putting out there as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for, you know, being part of our community.
Yes,
thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
I love doing that. I have a lot of visions for more. So I've got a lot of stuff that I've got coming up, and I'm excited about that. But Harlan, I mean, we've talked, you know, but it's so nice to see you and to be able to have, you know, a dialogue conversation about your positivity that is contagious. So I loved being able to interview. I loved today. Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you. And Kathy, you put a big smile on my face for the day. Thank you so much. It was an honor to be here. And we will definitely stay in touch. I will be on your page looking for more podcasts.
Good.
Thank you. It was an honor to be here.
Thank you. Same. I will look forward to more stuff with you. And for all of my group, you know what it is, move it or lose it. And we know we don't move, we will lose. And we came to disrupt your ideas of what you can and can't do. And I love that you were right with me, Harlan, and it's our choice, negative or positive. What do we want to put out there? Yes. So that would be my disrupt for today. Negative or positive? What do you choose to put out today?
Perfect. I love that. I love that. You're right. We
So
always
for
have
all
a
of
choice.
you, yes, absolutely. Have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you're located, and look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday. So have a great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Move It or Lose It podcast, where you can again find us every Tuesday, and also wherever you like your podcast, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. Join us on that, and we can't wait to see you again. We're going to have a lot of exciting guests and working together. And as always, you'll hear us say at the end of every podcast, we are stronger together. So let's do it. Let's become stronger together.